All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. It's Monday. We made it to Monday. We're taking a look at inside Hurricane Dorian, the weather weapon. Why did they not evacuate the people of the Bahamas? I think we can answer that question. It was a targeted attack, just like all the weather events. Let's see if I can get over here to the right scene so we can jump into this. And I want to remind everybody, on Tuesday nights we do a health conference call before the main show, but I'll do a little short video tomorrow night to let you guys know how to join our health conference call. And I want to congratulate the winner of a free month supply of this product from last Tuesday night. And don't forget, we give free product away every Tuesday night when we do this conference call. So make sure you jump on that. So I'll have all the numbers and everything posted in there tomorrow. Doesn't cost a thing. They won't spam you, nothing like that. So we'll see you there tomorrow night. All right, let's get into this. I was sitting here. This is the Colorado. Article where it shows the measles come from the dust and all kinds of crazy crap can be in this dust. So anyway, let's jump out of this right now. Oh, we got to make, here's another, let me grow this. We found it. Somebody sent me another mainstream station faking they're in the floods. Check this out.
Well, Joe and Sandra, this is the only way Eric and his friends can get across the street from his home because, as you can see, Church Street is a bit overwhelmed this evening. Every time it rains hard, it floods hard. Well, Joe and Sandra, this is the only way.
So they're only in like 4 inches of water, but they make it look like they're out in the middle of the street. And, of course, they have their crisis actors in the boat as a guy casually walks by, tennis shoe deep. I mean, come on, mainstream. You guys are getting so ridiculous. There you go. That's the Weather Channel. Hey, thanks out there, Kimberly. Thanks, Super Chat. All right, look at that. That's just funny, man. All right, so let's get into this weird-ass article. Swedish scientists want to fight climate change with cannibalism. Swedish behavioral scientists suggested that eating other people after they die could be a means of combating climate change. Where did these people get this stuff? The scientists mentioned the possibility of cannibalism during a broadcast on Swedish television channel TV4 this week in Stockholm. Food of the future. Well, you're not going to catch me eating another human. That's just gross, man. According to his research, the main problem with the idea is widespread taboo of eating human flesh. Come on, it's way worse than that. Got this little tweet here. Tissue culture clean meat. Already in 2018. I've long been looking forward to this. No, nobody has. What if a human meat is grown? Could we overcome our taboo against cannibalism? Come on. So they want to grow lab meat of humans and eat that. But they got all kinds of avocado for lab grown, or advocated for lab grown meat. Meat made of insects, buffalo, worms. Come on, man. This is just getting out of hand. This is all just weird stuff, man. This tells you where we are in history. Now we have the FDA issues a tuna recall in multiple states. Consumers who recently experienced symptoms of strombroid, I don't know how to pronounce that, poisoning after eating yellowfin tuna steaks. Anyway, they come from the Kroger retail stores, Atlanta, Arkansas, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Missouri, like everywhere. from August 29th to 2019 to September 14th, 2019. I've never even heard of a yellowfin tuna steak. I mean, is that like a regular tuna? But anyway, yeah, they said you can treat this stuff with antihistamines. Even without drugs, you can get better. Look at all the comments are on, like, spam, like, I made a bunch of money last month working from home. Like, every comment is like that. You'd think they would filter some of that out. 5 droughts that change human history. You know, when you get into these articles and start reading through them, you know, all these droughts, you know, they say are man-made. You know, we're talking thousands of years ago. There was mega droughts between 135,000 and 75,000 years ago. Could be responsible for the first migrations of early humans out of Africa. Whenever they say may have or could be or might have been, it's all, they don't know. They have no idea. They're just making this stuff as they go. Scientists say that variable climate conditions made the land in parts of Africa inhospitable for human habitation. You mean like now with the fires? But somewhere in here, see, rapid population growth coincided with having an annual rainfall 1,200 years ago, causing crops to fail, and a war with neighboring nations over dwindling water resources. We're seeing all this today. It's just history repeating itself. And this is where they're, hey, thanks out there, Bamboo. This is where they start talking about, at the time, they didn't realize that dust transmitted measles, influenza, fungal lung disease, valley fever, and all kinds of stuff. So when we see that dust coming across from the Saharas, traveling 5,000 miles, going up into the Gulf of Mexico and all over America, we don't know what's in that dust. But don't worry, we have 36 companies seeding the sky to trap that crap in. So here's a list. This is just the Manta search list of 36 companies under the cloud seeding in the United States. Cloudways Ltd. You've got Techalus, the WFTcloud.com, Stratusly. I mean, these are just tons. And this isn't like the cloud, you know, like putting your pictures on the cloud. Let's just click one of these and see. Or that one is. What the heck? Maybe these are, but they look like, let me just look here. Sometimes you don't get the good links before the show. Let's just see what this is. Maybe this is the cloud. Hell, I don't know. Alright, that's the wrong link. Never mind. We'll try this again. Well, how about the North American Weather Modification Council? Here you can find out what the purpose of weather modification practice, weather modification commonly referred to as cloud seeding, is currently used to increase precipitation from clouds, reduce hail from thunderstorms, eliminate fog, reduce visibility, usually at busy airports. Huh. Isn't that what they, you know, we have hail all the time. How come they're not using it to reduce the hail? In fact, they're using it to make the hail bigger. So they're saying that cloud seeding improves a cloud's ability to produce precipitation by adding tiny particles called ice nuclei, which water needs to freeze to a cloud. These nuclei help the cloud produce precipitation, acting on supercooled liquid water, the raw material from which precipitation is formed. These artificial ice nuclei promote freezing at warmer temperatures than it naturally, accelerating the precipitation process, making it more efficient use of the water in the clouds. You know, and then they have right here, can all clouds be seeded effectively? And the first thing they say is no. Only clouds that meet certain criteria are suitable for seeding. Well, I just listened to the U.S. Department of Agriculture's weather modification meeting of 2019. Here, let's play a clip and listen to what he says.
We've had a lot of cases where we were seeding storms that had no business being seeded. We were just kind of throwing darts, and we were seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go work cumulative congested clouds that aren't really precipitating yet. And if it has inflow, maybe we could get something to work. Year one, we had the air tractor that the USDA provided, so dosaging was a lot better. We were getting about 40 to 45 gallons per cloud. That aircraft wasn't available in year two, so we took one of our Comanches and converted it.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm George Bomar, Weather Modification Program Specialist in the Office of Innovation and Project Management. Since our last meeting in November, we have had completed the radar-derived assessment of cloud seeding operations done in Texas during 2018. That study is done on an annual basis by Dr. Ruiz out of Texas Tech.
Well, I'll leave it right there. But he just said they don't even need a rain cloud to make it rain. They can seed any cloud. They throw darts at the clouds. And later on, if you listen to the whole 2 hours of, you know, terrorism of the sky, and you can find that whole, I've got that thing knocked down to like an hour and a half somewhere in my videos. You just got to scroll down. It'll have that same thumbnail of the 2019 Texas weather modification licensing. But yeah, they even were talking about the electric rain making, shooting electromagnetics into the clouds to enhance the precipitation. They even talked about they seeded clouds that were already thunderstorm warned. That's a big no-no. All of it is. So even if you come to these pages and read, they're still not giving you the full truth. They're not telling you everything about it. Here we got Weather Modification Incorporated. We develop an array of effective meteorological support, blah, blah, blah. And here's what they say. Essential to climatology studies, precipitation enhancement, storm damage mitigation, fog dissipation, weather forecasting. Well, how come they didn't slow the storm down in the Bahamas? Well, they didn't do it because it was a weapon. Why didn't they evacuate the people before the storm if they knew it was going to get like that? It was a weapon. It was a hit. It was hit of the people down there. So there's no end in sight right now. I mean, it's just getting completely ridiculous. We'll see what the Weather Channel and NOAA here is talking about some of these storms. You know, these storms right here are in the dust. They shouldn't amount to nothing, but I mean, we said that with Dorian, and they like completely cut out a square section of the dust and shifted it up, and bam, they had some clear skies to work with. So a tropical disturbance is expected to enter the Gulf of Mexico this weekend. 30% chance of developing into a tropical depression within 5 days. In 5 days, that sucker should already be on land. But we'll dig into some of these. There was something in here. So we have, you know, where all the cloud seeding operations were yesterday over Europe. Here comes a storm headed your way. They're steering it. All right, let's get out of that. Now you got this going on in LA County. Summer heat brings increased West Nile's virus. And down in this article, they're saying so far this year, 57 West Nile virus cases of humans have been reported in California. And I thought I had an article that they were talking about, also talking about the ticks, the Lyme disease and all that. You know, that was a man-made disease. Maybe that's the next one I got here. Alaska just had the most ridiculous summer. That's a red flag for the planet. We got the Clinton News Network here. Alaska's summer of fire and no ice is smashing records. Arctic warming twice as fast as the rest of the planet. Well, I can tell you why it's warming. They dumped tons and tons and tons of sulfur from the bunker fuel ships. You know, just mega bunker fuel operations up here. Trapped the heat in, created a blanket. They started all the fires. It was an intentional heating event. So the smoky skies, the dripping glaciers, dead salmon, and hauled out walrus. But scientists also worry about changes that are harder to see from toxic algae blooms in the Bering Sea. And then from the insects from the lower 48 bringing new diseases north. And here we go with that date, July 4th. The head shaking among longtime locals really began on July 4th when 90 degrees Anchorage was hotter than Key West. That's because it was all fabricated. They created a blanket of chemtrails, you know, the bunker fuel. They did it for months, man. They were just ship after ship after ship out here. They were out off the Kamchatka Peninsula, south of the Aleutian Island chain, and then they steered the atmospheric river right up through the middle and just sucked all that heavy ass sulfur dioxide smoke all over the Arctic. They want to get to the resources. Like 85% of the oil is in the Arctic. It's like a race to get to the oil. And then you also had the one world train going in. If you haven't seen this yet, if I can find it here, I can't remember the name of that. What is that? Oh man, I might not. Oh, I know what it is. If I can spell it right. Here we go. This is what they're putting in. This is the secondary reason of the heating of the Arctic. First, they want the oil, and then they want to put the one world train in, the interbering. Now this is the tracks. You notice where all the fires are going on in Russia, Canada. It's all on the same pass as this railroad, the high-speed railroad. It's like a FEMA barge, but it's for trains. I mean, this thing's going to connect the whole world as part of the one world religion, the one world government, the one world everything. This is the new world order. I was trying to get a better picture of the tunnel. Here, let's just click that. So this is going on. You know, they say it's not going on yet. It's proposed. No, they've already started it. So you can find the Bering Strait Tunnel linking the railway from North America to Asia. So it's going to go to China, Russia, all them places. And what's crazy is this thing goes underground 5 miles, and then it pops up into some little town in Alaska, and then it does the same thing the opposite way. Goes 5 miles underground and pops up into Russia. This is a good way to get people you don't want in one place to another place. Here's the proposed coming up to California or Oregon, Washington. You know, you can find the map that goes down below this, but here you go. These are all the fire zones, man. They're making way. They're making way for it. They call it proposed, but it's already being built. Now we got this CERN news. They want you to download this app. Download the CERN Open Days app. You know, like opening the porthole. Check out the time they made it. This video is 0.33. So they used the Freemason. They made it exactly 33 seconds on purpose. You know, you just can't make this stuff up. Now, I don't know what this app is. Like, I guess it's for when they open CERN back up. And they bring out the, you know, the god of destruction, the Shiva, and all their demonic entities. You know, they did the sacrifices out here. I mean, it's just, man, we are definitely headed towards end times. Let's go ahead and take a look. If anybody watched my earlier video today, man, we got waxed in Missouri. But I want to show you, look at the aerosols going over Nova Scotia. They've been a target for quite a while, but man, they just have complete bombardment going on up there. In fact, there is tons of states getting smoked right now by the aerosols. I mean, that's just big time. Let me slow it down so you guys can see this a little better. Or here, I'll just stop it and try to get where I can. So you have, I mean, just the whole thing, all this gray looking. I don't know if you guys can see the straight lines, the crisscross pattern. Look at all these planes dropping nasty particulates into the sky, creating man-made clouds, creating weather. Look here over Boston, Massachusetts, all the states up here, New York, Connecticut. Everybody is getting hit. North Carolina, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio. Everybody is getting hit right now. Here, let me back this out. Almost everybody, except for where they don't want it to rain. You know, it's pretty, I mean, this is just an insane spraying operation way up here, and it actually goes all the way up into the Arctic. They're also spraying coming off Greenland. Look at that big line right there going right through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Missouri got smoked. This is probably 85 to 90% man-made clouds. If there was no aircraft up here, we wouldn't even hardly have any clouds. We'd have fair weather clouds. You know, at nighttime, the temperatures would go down. The heat would be able to escape. But they're trapping it in. You don't put a blanket on to cool things off. You put it on to keep the heat in. That's what they're doing. They're intentionally keeping the heat in on us. Let's go ahead. Let me take this off. And let's just take a quick look at the worldview. You know, sometimes these don't come out as clear because at certain times they take the photos. I think they take 3 photos each pass, or 3 passes. And of course, it's not going to be as low as good as I had earlier. I mean, you just see all the synthetic crap going on. But what I wanted to really pay attention to is down here. I want to see where are they going to steer this tropical disturbance. Well, we have mega aerosols here by the Cayman Islands, so they want it to go a little south. You have aerosols north of Cuba, all over the Gulf of Mexico, and a big spraying operation here off the coast. So it looks like they're going to try to guide the storm in between all the islands and bring it right up through here in the Gulf of Mexico. And right now we can't see any kind of seeding operations. That one's not really clear enough to tell by the colors it does, but There's nothing being seeded out here to get these next systems going at the moment. We've seen all the aerosols, you know, from Nova Scotia all the way up, you know, below Iceland. And, you know, they're wanting to hit all up here. I had a good layer right here. Where was that? Oh, we got, so the UK, see, they're going to pull all this moisture coming down out of the UK. Here's the target zone. Hopefully you guys can see these, all these liners that are being intentionally. That's really weird. I had this really loaded good. So you can see the X marks the spot. That's where they want it to go. Look, concentrated spraying operation. You know, they come in here, turn it on, got where they wanted it, turned it off. These are all ran by AI. And I'm pretty sure way up here somewhere there was another big operation. I think it was around Greenland or... Oh, here we go. Looks like Canada's pretty clear, don't it? You know, you got a few fires going on, but look at this spraying operation right here. You don't think this isn't intentional? So you're going to tell me in this huge area of clear, you know, mostly high pressure, they got all these intentional X just in one little area. How could that even be possible? Look at that. So they got a big spraying operation just, I mean, dead smack in the center of Canada. You can follow it up, and you got the big fat liners. These are not fire suppression. These are what I call like a smoke curtain, man. These are the big, thick C-130 dumps of the heavy aerosols. So they're still spraying all around the Arctic. Look at this. Where are we at here? We're right above Alaska. And we got tons of aerosols. See, they're heating this on purpose up here. Usually there's not much air traffic up here, but now when they want to keep the heat up here, that's what they do. They create a cloud blanket. Hey, here comes the leftovers. A Typhoon Akai is getting ready to come in. This is going to be the rain event next. Let's do a quick little look around here. I want to take a quick look at Australia. Look, they're still burning. How come David Miles hasn't put the fires out? He has the technology. What is this kind of cloud? That looks normal. Not. What do we got going here? We also have aerosols being deployed in this. So it looks like we may have to come up with another cloud formation type. You know, here's the aerosols being deployed. Wow, look at these little short sprays. May have to go check the Miles Research Company Twitter feed to see what he's doing down here, or if it's even him. He don't do the cloud seeding. He does the electric rain making. All right, so it's do I got an enhancement on? No. I can't remember if I showed all these tracks yet. Well, if I didn't, here, we'll just take a quick look. So here's the storm Gabriel that we were just talking about. All the aerosols that were being deployed yesterday. Look, perfect target. So that's coming in. Here's Typhoon Faxi. Where's it going? It's going right where we said it would be, right where the aerosol is being deployed, right underneath the Aleutian Island chains, and it'll be over on the west coast here in a few days. Won't be a typhoon. Ooh, here's the ones we need to look at. This is the one that, yeah, just by the aerosols being deployed. This is the path I just showed. We just looked at the aerosols, and they're all right through here and bringing it up. So it's by the chemtrails that are being sprayed, it's almost in between the green and the red track. So we'll just have to see what becomes of that. That's what I'm saying. Most of the time, I don't even need radar. I can go by the aerosol deployments. And then we got this one here. It'll never turn back around. The upper level winds are cruising too fast to get that thing to turn back to the east. More storms headed for Japan. Let's check tropical tidbits just real quick, the forecast models. We'll see if it's still showing the cyclone coming up, or the hurricane that they want to bring up through Florida. So here we are looking at our low pressure, not showing any kind of cyclone formation. That was later in the month. We'll just see. So we are looking at some pretty heavy rain coming in on Sunday, September 15th, going right up through Alabama, Mississippi, up into Arkansas. Oh, here comes that storm. Look at that. This is showing it taking a north path. So it's shifted way to the east. And there's that secondary hurricane coming up there by the Gulf of Mexico. Oh, wow. Look, did you just see that path? Are you kidding me? Man, this really changed overnight. Okay, watch this path. This thing is doing like snake. It's going up, up, to the east, to the east, to the east, up, to the west, 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 stopping north, north to the east, east, northeast. So, man, that's crazy. It changed that much. They normally don't change that much in a night. So, something is going on with the models. This is showing it coming in on the 20th is when it was showing yesterday, or Sunday's forecast. And now it's looking like, yeah, it's still kind of popping up here around the 19th, 20th. But look at that thing. That's just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, man. That's a big one, too. All right, well, we're going to keep our eyes on it. We got to watch the aerosols. And you just seen the tracks. All the tracks are showing it going into the Gulf of Mexico. So why is this not matching all the other spaghetti noodle models? Maybe they don't have the weather plan yet. All right, guys, let me try to bring in Billy Hayes, see what he has to say. I'm going to go ahead and give him a call and see if he can spread some more light on what we're talking about here. So let me give him a call. I forgot to turn my do not disturb off. I gotta put it back on here. All right, now let me try to call him. Sorry about that, guys. The more we do this, the more we'll get it figured out. So let me try to give him. There he is. All right, Billy, mute your background noise. We got you. All right, there we go. Now we got you. Much better. Yeah, get that background sound down and we're good to go.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, you're coming.
Oh, forgot my coffee.
You're coming in. Oh, you got to have coffee. Well, hey, Billy, welcome back into the show. we have the Hart man, guys. We got a expert on all this stuff. He knows millions of things more than I do. So, hey, welcome into the show, Billy.
Okay. You know, we've been talking about chemtrails a lot, and everybody's asked the same questions all the time. And one of the questions is, how come chemtrails look black sometimes? How come chemtrails sometimes look white, sometimes gray? How come they change colors in the middle? How can they disappear right in the middle of nowhere? Well, to make it all simple, it's a matter of where the sun is setting in respect to the chemtrail. When the chemtrail makes a shadow, it makes a black shadow. Or if the chemtrail is down below a big cloud that the sun is shining into, then it looks dark. If the cloud is broken up in sections, you'll see it, the chemtrail will look black and white and black and white. It will also disappear, depending on the angle of the sun in reference to where that chemtrail is. Okay, maybe I can't make that good. It's a shadow effect.
Yeah, I
Make
got
it very
you.
simple.
Yeah, I've seen it
Yes, there
before.
are chemtrails that are black, are dark, but they stay that color no matter where they're at. That's when the fuel mixture is so thick and the burn of JP9 that it leaves a blackened soot with it. You have to remember, when they use a JP9, they're still using JP4. They have to mix it together. So you're getting a common. Once you increase the amount of JP4, you start getting black. Once you get a mixture just right, then you got gray. If you got too much of the biofuel, JP9, it turns absolutely white. This was what they were trying to show. NASA showed they had a program, a project. No, I didn't say program because if you say program, everybody wants to go, what TV station was that on? Okay. NASA had a program called Access, ACCESS1. The Europeans also had a similar program where they were flying an aircraft using biofuel and flying another aircraft right up in it. In fact, everybody looks at that picture and says, chemtrails, chemtrails. Yes, they're testing out these chemtrails, trying to figure out how to hide them, how to formulate a proper mixture, what type of compounds can we use as a initial igniter to make this more soluble so it turns into a good fuel, a cheap fuel. One of the things that the military is after is the fact that with this new JP9, their aircraft can fly higher than the aircraft was designed for. The engines will function where there's less oxygen because part of it is made with the basic nanothermite. Yeah, here we go again, nanothermite. A liquid form of nanothermite that burns as a biofuel. Well, doggone, we could blow up a whole bunch of sky that way, couldn't we? Go ahead, take it for a minute.
Yeah, and you mentioned
Hello?
yeah, I'm here, and you mentioned the JP7.
Hello?
Yeah, you got me. Okay, there you go. Am I all right now?
Oh,
Yeah, you mentioned.
I hear you, but I didn't.
Yeah, we got the JP7, but what people don't know is part of that biofuel is mixed with these plants. I can't remember the name of the plants, but it kills other plants. It kills insects, And I just can't remember the plant, but there's a plant that they mix in there, and it just ruins anything that it gets a hold of. Like, you know, it drops out of the sky. It can actually drought a place out. And if, you know, if a person ate one seed from these plants, it would kill you. It's like the Wxxxx plant or something like it. It's something they mix into the JP7. And I wish I could remember that. But yeah, I didn't know we were going to be talking about that, or I would have brought up all my information on that.
You're talking about castor beans.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I did pretty deep. I got a video on it. I mean, I went pretty deep on that, but I just don't remember. I got a bad memory, so.
Well, I understand what they're trying to do is formulate a compound that will eventually use CBD, that non-marijuana stuff.
Yeah, the hemp.
Exactly. I mean, hemp has got one of the best outputs per landmass that is usable as a fuel source. Well, doggone, no wonder they're trying to legalize this crap. Oh.
Yep, they want to. It's just a new market for them. It'll be the new black gold, just like water. Water will be the new black, or the clear gold. Yeah, it's always about the resources.
What was that?
Say that again there.
Hey, you were trying to explain this hurricane, this event that's starting to happen, and said it was going to come up through the Cuban Florida Channel there,
Right.
come up towards Mobile or in that. Do you see a similarity to, what was the hurricane that came before Harvey hit Texas?
The Florence,
Harvey,
Hurricane Florence or Michael. Well, Hurricane Michael and Dorian were the exact same weapon. I mean, that was exact. They were formed in the exact amount of time. They were pretty much the same size, same speed of winds, both Cat 5s. I mean, that one did the same thing. It just popped up out of nowhere when the atmospheric conditions shouldn't have been right. Yeah, I mean, I documented that one like pretty intensively, and it was just like Dorian. But like one of the things I really seen back when Florence come across, I mean, I've started watching that all the way off the coast to Africa, and the whole way they had a spraying operation that stayed out about 300 to 500 miles out in front of it, and it tracked right with that spraying operation all the way. I mean, that was like the easiest forecast out. I think I gave a 2-week warning before any of the mainstream exactly where it was going to hit, and it hit just dead on. And then the hurricane went over each radar site. Like, it went right over. It went from one radar to the next radar to the next radar. I mean, you couldn't even script it anymore. It was like the radars were making it go right over there and then to the next one. It was crazy.
Yep. Pretty much, because it did, once it made landmass and went over into Texas, it turned and went up Louisiana, took a right turn, Clyde, and started hitting each one of those NACRAD sites as it filtered up south of Atlanta, on up to North Carolina. Oh, man, every NACRAD site was right on the dot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they like, you know, I mean, you've worked with the operations that they did, you know, way back in the day.
Yeah.
So they're just a lot more advanced.
In my day, back in the 60s, we were dealing with the fact, number one, the first project was dealing with Agent Orange, or at that time we were calling all the agents rainbow agents at Edmond, coming up with spares, a way to dispense airborne particulates that they could utilize in the development of making it rain and dispersing Agent Orange for war purposes. And then Mr. Livingston was assigned to Agent. We had to come up with a nozzle system that would partake of his type system, a dispensing system, which came back to an actual pod that would have a a screw in it that tore the dry ice and dispensed it at the same time the silver iodine was being infused out of the racks on the side of a bird in 123. Started with a 123, by the way. Then it went to we had to outfit a system for the 130. So it was really interesting, but that all led into eventually chemtrailing. The early trials of trying to set up a chemical clouded system, a dispensing system that would work feasibly. Well, it didn't quite work too good. They were only getting 40% utilization out of them. And that's where we get into the field, which we're going to talk about fuel. Is it tomorrow night we're going to talk about the fuel?
Yeah, if Jim Lee gets home in time, we'll work on that Wednesday night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a hot one for us. Yeah, you girls and boys, get out those recorders. We're going to hit some stuff that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, so don't forget.
We're going to make those scientists look up what happened.
Okay, hey guys, I figured out how to make him sound a lot better. So I have to mute my mic when you're talking, Billy, and then that clears you up a lot better. I think it's double echoing through my mic. So what I'm gonna do is whenever you're on a roll talking, I'll mute out, and if it takes me a minute to get unmuted, just hang in there for me. And yeah, so tomorrow night, guys, if Jim Lee gets home in time, we're gonna have Jim Lee and Billy on here, and we're working. I talked to Elana Freeland this morning, and she's gonna be talking about some of her old books and her new books. She's working on nanotech, and she's the writer of the ionized. She's wrote tons of books on this stuff. Billy knows her, Jim knows her, but it will be an awesome show when we do that one. So tune in tomorrow night for sure. Take it away, Billy. I'm going to mute out for a second.
Okay, well, most of these storms that we've looked at during this coming year, in fact, almost absolutely every one of them coming in have been of the controlled variety. They're all showing, number one, electronic initiation. Number two, chemical assertion on it, whether it be the old type or the chemical ship tracks. Now, people, you have to understand, ship tracks stay in the lower atmosphere. They create a warm shelf close to the ground. It's like a warm fog that you can't get rid of. So as they lay these ship tracks down there, it holds in the warm air. So as a storm, or should we call it typhoon, or shall we call it a hurricane, or a tropical storm, as it moves into it, it picks up even more heat off the water. And that warm air is only in between like 1,000 to 3,000 feet. Only a couple thousand feet of heated air that eventually, as it comes in, it compresses and comes down to the ground. That's why you don't notice it as the hurricane or typhoon or tropical storms starting to move in, you don't notice it because you're just then starting to see the rain. You don't actually see that fog as it comes in. But they made a mistake this time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just showing here's some images of the ship tracks that you can just Google search. And like I've covered a lot, like I recognize, 90% of these images right here. So, I mean, you can tell when they're spraying the bunker fuel is staying low, and then when they also are spraying the aerosols above, I mean, you can see the difference in the colors. You can see the difference in the way they billow out. And people got to realize these ship tracks, these are the most toxic emissions on the planet. I mean, it's some nasty stuff. This is like the leftovers of making fuel, diesel and gas, and it's just a sludge. They actually have to heat it up to even get it to flow through the lines. I mean, it's just nasty. It kills the animals, kills the sea life. It's filling our lungs up with this sulfur and all this other crap in there. Take it away.
Well, it makes it real interesting. Oh, what? Well, what's going on here? Anyways, when you got these ship tracks manipulating the lower temperatures, and you can see how they're laid out, how they're going to swing, if they're all going north and south, or how they come up and do a checkerboard to keep a area that basically intact, so the upper winds don't tear it away so fast. It's once the upper winds, like when a typhoon or anything comes in and starts lifting that warm air up into the eye wall, it creates an additional force. It's also got the additional particulates, conductive particulates, nanoparticulates that will boost up the electrical energy within this super generator of a storm. As that more metal gets up there into the upper atmosphere that's coming out of the eye core of the wall of the eye, it's sucking up all those particulates. They're spreading out in the bands that are coming around, and of course they're cutting more fields out there. They're creating more magnetic electricity. They also create more electrical strength, and it builds up on the northeast wall. You will normally find all this lightning, and then maybe 200, 300 miles out, you find a negative caused lightning, and it maintains a balance between these two lightnings. So when one goes over balance, it starts dissipating light, making lightning strikes.
Yeah, we see that's why the lightning is so much worse now, man. It's it's creating static. The wind farms are creating static. Then you add on all the metal particulates, and you have the lightning that we see today. I mean, the lightning is from the ground up. It no longer shoots down. It's just there. It's covering the whole depth, or through the altitude of the atmosphere, and it's actually going up into space.
Here's another thing you're going to start seeing more and more of. 18-wheelers. You're going to see guys get out of the 18-wheeler, touch the ground, be touching that truck, and it's going to knock them so hard their heart will stop. Because a truck picks up that static. It stores that static until it's discharged. when they discharge it with well, they used to have a little tab hanging down the ground, so when they slowed down, this tab or chain would swing and touch the ground, start bouncing off the ground. You'd see that thing just pow, pow, pow. Miniature lightning coming off them, trying to discharge that truck. Over the years, they stopped doing that. But now they're going to have to start doing it again, because this is creates a problem when they pull into fueling stops. They're making sparks around the gasoline where the cars are. You know, they go line up to go into their diesel stalls, but this chain is snapping on the ground, making big sparks around gasoline. Well, the fumes are there. So there's new problems, you know. We're building up static so much because of these particulates are capable of creating a bigger, harder, more ampered charge. We're seeing animals getting killed everywhere, all over the world. Not just one or two animals, a whole herd just boom, they're gone. They're pre-cooked. Go ahead. I'm trying to get a nurse in here.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
need some.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I reported on so many deaths of lightning strikes this year, like unbelievable. And I mean, even a guy on a motorcycle, it blew his head apart. I mean, it went right through his helmet. I mean, it was disgusting. I mean, he just got instantly blasted. I mean, people are getting hit all over the place. And, you know, the storms are miles away a lot of times. Like, they don't see it coming, man. It's coming out of nowhere. So, yeah, man, the lightning is definitely much worse, has been for the last several years. And it's just because they are creating the artificial cloud decks. They're brightening the sky. It's called cloud brightening, albedo modification. I mean, you can solar radiation management. I mean, there's so many names for it. They change the names all the time. Like, I think they've already changed the name of it like 3 times. Some people call it climate moderation. I mean, it's just tons of names. I don't even know them all. There's so many. But yeah, here, I'm just kind of going through some of these photos of the ship tracks. And what I noticed is before every major storm, every major fire attack, you see these ship tracks. So they definitely have something to do with it. Like, they're using that for accelerants, or it's something to help guide the jet streams, but they're definitely using it. And it, like before the Paradise fires, there was like a huge triangle pointing right at the West Coast for days before. Before Hurricane Florence, same thing. They were just totally filling the whole Pacific up. Before the storm that hit Europe, I think they called it the Beast from the East. Tons of ship tracks. You rarely see the ship tracks in the Atlantic, but before that big storm, you seen them down there. You see them all the time down in Australia, the southern part of Australia. They're constantly using the bunker fuel along with the chemtrails, just like they are in the Atlantic. But yeah, it's just an ongoing thing. I can even bring up the Earth null, and these ship tracks that I'm going to show you here are more of the sulfur signatures from the shipping lanes. And let me get it on that layer, if I can find it here. Here we go. This is the sulfur dioxide mass. When I scroll on here, you're going to see a bunch of straight lines coming from like the Hawaii over to the West Coast. You see go for the West Coast up to Alaska. They're everywhere. These are the shipping lanes. They're dropping so many particulates that this map is picking up the sulfur dioxide in the air. I mean, they're everywhere. Look at this, going from Africa all the way down to the tip. I mean, that's a major pollution thing right there. That's big time. All over, you know, from China going up and down to the Philippines, and they're everywhere. Even down here in Madagascar or New Zealand. Take the winds off here. You can see they're a lot lighter down here. They're not the super dark lines, but they're long, straight, light lines. That's from cargo ships. They don't tell you this, but just one cargo ship puts off 1 million cars worth of emissions. That's just the cargo ships. That's not these huge tankers that are blowing out, you know, what we just looked at on the ship tracks. I mean, when you're looking at some of these images here on the just doing a quick search of the Google ship tracks, I mean, you just see tons of them here. I'm trying to get this back where I had it here. We'll just go to the Atlantic.
Okay, yeah, well, if you notice, usually when you're looking down, like you showed the eye a while ago, you look down and you see these boils right at the edge of the inner eye. That's where the ship track was. It's where the distortion comes in when that eye grabs what's left of that ship track. It boils it. It sucks it up so fast coming up the side that it sticks out the wall, and it permeates up that wall and makes a boil like a ball, half a ball rolling up, and it really distorts the wall. There's some of them, it almost looks like you got an eye inside of an eye. So take it away. I'm muting too.
Yeah, I think we got your sound figured out where we can make it sound a lot better here. So yeah, I was trying to bring up some of the bunker fuel, like how nasty these emissions are coming out of these crafts. I know I got some images saved on my hard drive, but I probably wouldn't be able to find them quick enough. But yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through here, just kind of looking for images to kind of go along with what we're talking about. And yeah, it's like here we go. Here's some pretty bad ones. I mean, this is one of the biggest ones. This is, you know, they got this one on Wikipedia showing the ship tracks. Now this is a huge, you know, thousands of miles out here that they're deploying this stuff, and you can see it's targeted. These are not like paths for fishing or nothing like this. This is not strictly for weather modification, because I think it's always multifaceted agendas when they're doing this. And the IMAC is supposed to have regulations on this stuff, but they eased it because they say it helps the fighting the global warming, but it's all intentional global warming. So I'm going to go on up here.
Well, here's another thing. How in the heck do you think it's happening? This is a hurricane. You know, we're talking 125, 130 mile an hour winds, and they're coming out the wall, going into the eye, and you can see the ship tracks in the eye, looking down from the satellite. I mean, these guys are smart, but they're not that smart. They keep on opening up the door and let us peek in. Why don't they just be truthful about it before someone figures out how we can fix this? And there's ways we can fix it. If you generate enough heat within an eye, guess what? You default the wall. You can make, if you do just one side, you can get that wall to wobble. Oh, so that's why the hurricanes have been wobbling. Oh, other hurricanes didn't wobble like this. It's only been the last 15, 20 years. The hurricane started wobbling. So what's going on? Well, there's your answer. Take it away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I kind of lost my track of mine there. I see Jim Lee here. I'm looking at the ship tracks and stuff. There's a picture of Jim Lee there from Twitter. Jim Lee will be on the show tomorrow night. Hopefully he gets back from his little vacation or his daughter's wedding or whatever it was he went to. But he's got all the technical and scientific data that he can show us on all this. He can show us what's exactly in this stuff. So hopefully we'll have him on here tomorrow night to help us on that part. And yeah, I'm kind of getting pretty tired, Billy. I might have to call this a show here pretty quick. I don't know how you're doing on time there.
Oh, I got, you know, I'm in the hospital. I got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
I got me a nurse that's actually bringing me coffee. Well, it's not quite the real thing, but all. And I left some messages for you there to let you know what's going on with me, because Lord have mercy, my family's getting hit again. What's left of them. Now they're down. My granddaughter's in Kansas City. I thought maybe you were going to go visit her yesterday.
Oh, I could have. I didn't see the messages.
Oh yeah, she's at the Children's Hospital there in Kansas City. She's
yeah, I'll look. Did you
fibrosis, and she
did you email it to me, or how'd you send it to me?
I think I just put it in the messenger there for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll take a look there. I don't check. You know, sometimes I got to work all day, so I don't check that stuff till I get home. I don't. You know, I got a certain amount of time I can allot for making the videos and you know, swinging time between my work, my family, the house, the farm, and then trying to do this is man, it's just a battle for time. I feel like I'm battling time demons, and we're all being targeted. That's for damn sure. I mean, I've been targeted ever since I started this stuff. So hopefully we can.
You know, I put up a bunch of. You know, I've been there and Cliff, you know, with Hillary and Bill.
Oh yeah.
We need to talk about this elsewhere. I don't want to put it talk on the air.
Okay.
But anyways, and you know that those two little girls that got burnt up at Burlington, right? Those were my nieces.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, you're an enemy of the New World Order, just like I am. So, you know, with what you know, we got to keep doing what we can with what time we got. That's why we push every night. We try to be consistent as long as we can, because we never know when we won't be here. So as long as, you know, this information's out and up, at least it's there. Maybe somebody else can take the reins when we're gone and keep on fighting. I mean, that's all we can do. I mean, it's really up to us. It's up to everybody out there. Everybody out there should be an activist. If you can't fight with information, then you can share the information. Go ahead, Billy.
So what I'm asking for is, I'm asking those who are able to give a prayer. Please give my granddaughter and my nieces a prayer. My granddaughter needs it real bad. We almost lost her. And of course, my nieces, they did not survive. Their mother didn't survive. The person who owned the house, he didn't survive. So there was 4 people in a fire. One that was trying to save the girls. It saddens me. And I can't go nowhere. I can't get out of the hospital. So, and by the way, Mike, if you get driving around and you feel like coming down here where the weather makers are, I'll show you how it makes it.
But anyway, hey, Billy, I'm probably going to have to cut
Okay,
this.
you take over the show. I'm going to take a little break.
Hey, Billy, I'm going to go ahead and end this show tonight, but we'll talk to you tomorrow night. Want to thank you again for coming on here, and we're definitely going to send out prayers right now. So everybody send prayers out to Billy's family. They definitely need it, and we'll get into all that. But hey, Billy, thanks for taking some of your time out and joining us. And I'll check all my emails and stuff tomorrow and all that.
In case everybody didn't catch it, I do have a Facebook account. So you just Billy Hayes 67548.
Yeah, Billy.
Trust me there. I'll bring you in.
Yeah, I'll put your link. I'll get your link and I'll put it in the description after this thing processes. I'll put it in with the video, and I'll put it in tomorrow night's video. We'll have all the links in there. Just was a little shorter on time. Well, hey, Billy, much love to you. Thanks. And we'll just keep on fighting a good fight. We got to do what we can do anyway. Thanks for joining us. And we got prayers coming your way.
Oh. Howdy doody time, folks.
All right.
Oh, there goes Captain Kangaroo again.
All right, Billy. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Okay, we'll talk before the show too.
Yep, that'll work. All right, we'll see you, brother. Keep your head on a swivel. All right, guys. So, got to thank Billy for coming on the show again, and thanks for everybody hanging out here with us. Make sure you share this information out. I mean, that's one way to help. Like, we're trying to get we're trying to keep this operation going. We're trying to go against the mainstream media. We're trying to get the funds to get the websites going, all the backup stuff. Everybody that's been here a long time knows how much this internet cost me where I live. I mean, I live out in the middle of the woods. I only have one option, and they ream me. So it's, we couldn't even do this stuff without the help of everybody out there. So sharing is caring. Anyway, guys, much love. We're going to hit a song called Rise. We're going to have to rise pretty soon. We don't have a lot of time. We got to try to keep getting all the information we can from all the experts. So we're going to keep on trying to find some of the experts and bring them on here and go from there. Anyway, guys, much love. Here he goes. Hit the song called Rise. I'm going to mute out, and then we'll come join in and chat. I'll go give away the treasure chest over on D-Live. And thanks everybody out there who's watching on Facebook. I can't monitor all this stuff. I don't have a crew. Anyway, guys, much love. Here we go.